Today, I will be presenting the concept and technique of biofilling. In 21st century, mineral trioxide aggregate has been introduced into dentistry. Its main characteristics include hydraulic setting, excellent sealing ability, antibacterial properties, and bioactivity. MTA can block bacterial pathways and entomb residual bacteria within the dentinal tubules. Ortho-grade obturation using MTA can also enhance the regeneration of new cementum. These characteristics play a vital role in preserving natural teeth. The success rate of biofilling treatment for open apices, as reported by pediatric dentists, has been published as 97.7%. In a 3-year follow-up study, the biofilling success rate of chronic apical abscesses cases treated by endodontic specialists was reported to be 100%. MTA and retro MTA have been published in the last 10 years. Among them, I have co-authored approximately 5 papers, either as the first author or a contributing co-author. In 2014, an image from my research was selected as the cover illustration of the International Journal of Oral Science. In 2016, the content I am presenting in today's lecture was included in the Pathway of the Pulp, a global recognized endodontic textbook used by dental schools worldwide. This is a comprehensive video presentation on the biofilling technique. You need to practice extruding the MTA putty from the needle tip as shown in the photo. This is the Orso MTA compactor used during the packing procedure. The tip of the Orso MTA compactor looks like this. This is an actual clinical procedure video. Slowly compaction. Excess water should be removed by dry paper point. Gently packing. Use plugger. Remove the paper point and insert the Orso compactor into the hole of root canal orifice. Gently up and down, slowly rotation. You can use paper point or dry cotton pellet to control the viscosity of Orso MTA. Viscosity control is a critical point. Gently packing. The distance of separation length means the length of apical plug at the apical 1/3. Slowly, 100 RPM, and up and down motion. Use gentle force. Gently. You should not use heavy force. For preparation of canal post space, remove slight amount of the Orso MTA and post hole space for impression. Unlike conventional MTA, retro MTA is used by wetting rather than mixing. Wetting, not mixing. Cut a plastic mixing solvent pipette and then 3 drops. 3 drops. And cut the pouch. Pour the power on the caps and wetting, not mixing. Wet gently. Just wetting is very important procedure. Wetting. Do not mix. Just wet gently. The initial setting time of retro MTA is 3 minutes. Two minutes later, the shiny surface will disappear. At this point, is proper point for use. Put some proper amount with the plastic spatula or amalgam carrier. The viscosity is 40 viscosity. Viscosity is the best viscosity for capping and vital property. Initial setting time is 3 minutes. Initial setting time means no washout. No washout. It can also be mixed and used directly within the pouch. This video shows pouch mixing method. Creamy viscosity. Creamy viscosity for pinpoint exposure of the cotton in direct technique. This is 40 viscosity for vital property, partial property, or correcting while filling. This is the capsule type Retro MTA. This is how it comes out. In vital property, the material can be delivered directly into the pulp chamber using capsule system for exact placement. Glass ionomer cement can be used to build up the core after the pulpotomy. Also, MTA has excellent sealing properties. As shown in the video image, the apical foramen is like the narrow opening of a bottle. When also MTA particles mixed with water to form viscosity are compacted into the canal using a compactor. A jamming phenomenon occurs between the particles, ultimately resulting in the formation of an apical plug, which functions as a physical seal at the root apex. To form an accurate 5 mm apical plug, the procedure should begin by introducing also MTA with the seal-like viscosity into the apical third of the canal. Subsequently, also MTA in the coronal third is adjusted to a compactable consistency. On compaction, this material exerts apical pressure, pushing the seal-up viscosity of also MTA into within the apical third. This process enhances sealability. Apical 1/3 is sealed like this. This area can harbor at least 80,000 viable microorganisms, sufficient to sustain a persistent infection. Biofilling with also MTA or retro MTA result in a complete seal of this critical space. Also MTA enables complete sealing of challenging morphologies such as an open apices, C-shaped canals, isthmuses, fins, and apical deltas. Apical inflammation may result in root resorption and the formation of an open apex. In such cases, also MTA provide an ideal sealing. The cross-sectional view of the C-shaped canal demonstrates that a continuous void-free monoblock obturation can be accomplished using also MTA. A reverse Y-shaped canal often results in unfilled apical spaces when using conventional technique. Also, MTA can effectively fill and seal the entire space. Also, MTA exhibit strong alkalinity with a pair of 12.5 before setting. This high pair contribute to its potent antibacterial activity, enabling it to eliminate bacteria even within accessory canals. Also, MTA allow for dense and continuous sealing, even in highly curved canal system, where traditional tration technique often fail. Also, MTA exhibit a strong antibacterial effect. When bacteria come into direct contact with a strong alkaline substance, they undergo lysis, disintegration, and are ultimately killed. as calcium silicate hydrate precipitate within the dental tubal orifices. Microorganisms are physically embedded and immobilized within the mineralized matrix, contributing to long-term antibacterial sealing. Calcium silicate hydrate entombment at dental tubal openings contribute to long-term sealing and bacterial immobilization. The same image reveals the formation of calcium silicate hydrate tags at the opening of dental tubules, indicating mineral infiltration and interfacial bonding. These slides show the entombment by calcium silicate hydrate tags. The same image reveals bacterial cell physically entrapped within the hardened calcium silicate matrix, indicating a potential mechanism for antibacterial sealing. Bacteria infiltrating the dentin are immobilized by the calcium silicate hydrate layer and tags. This process, termed bacterial entombment, eliminates their growth environment and lead to cell death. The growth of long tags has been observed. Eventually, they reach the cement-dental junction. This image shows the opening entrance of dental tubules. Also, MTA react with water to produce amorphous calcium silicate hydrate and calcium hydroxide ions. In the early stage of hydration of also MTA, calcium and silicon ions are released into the surrounding water. As this release continues, a calcium silicate hydrate gel is formed, which grow into and occlude the open orifices of dental tubules, are formed inside the dental tubules as shown in the image. Let's take a closer look inside the lumen of the dental tubules. Calcium deficient hydroxyapatite fossilization can be found at the lumen of dental tubules. E. faecalis is a pathogenic bacterium known to infiltrate dental tubules. When the root canal is sealed with also MTA, calcium deficient hydroxyapatite is deposited on the surface of dental tubules as well as on the surface of bacteria. The deposition of calcium deficient hydroxyapatite eliminates the physical space required for bacterial proliferation. Viable E. faecalis may persist as a latent nidus of infection within dental tubules, potentially causing secondary endodontic failure. Thus, eliminating this reservoir is critical for long-term treatment success. The alkaline calcium hydroxide released from also MTA penetrate the dental tubules and interact with the phosphorus-rich residues of lysed E. faecalis cells. This biochemical reaction results in the in situ formation of calcium deficient hydroxyapatite crystals, direct on the bacterial surfaces. Red arrow indicate calcium deficient hydroxyapatite crystal deposit on disintegrate. This crystal form selectively where intracellular phosphorus is released due to cell membrane disruption. Since intracellular phosphorus concentration is higher than in surrounding fluid, localized calcium deficient hydroxyapatite nucleation is facilitated at the bacterial site. This process leads to bacterial fossilization. Bacteria within dental tubules entrapped and mineralized by calcium deficient or B-type carbonate hydroxyapatite is biomineralization-based eradication. This novel mechanism transcends conventional antibacterial strategies by not only killing the bacteria, but also eliminate their ecological niche within the dental tubules. On hydration, also MTA release calcium hydroxide, rapidly increasing the local pH to approximately 12.5. This highly alkaline environment induces irreversible damage to microbial cells membrane and denature intracellular proteins, resulting in an immediate and potent bactericidal action. These serve as the first line of defense against endodontic pathogens. The hydration reaction of also MTA leads to the formation of calcium silicate hydrate gel, which gradually occlude the orifice of dental tubules. This gel acts as a physical barrier, isolating residual bacteria and effectively preventing their migration into the root canal system. The entombment process significantly contributes to local microbial contaminant. As also MTA interact with the phosphate and the carbonate ions from the surrounding tissue fluid, it facilitated the in situ formation of calcium deficient hydroxyapatite. These precipitates replace and minimize the remaining intratubular voids, depriving bacteria of their ecological niche and rendering them incapable of replication. This process, referred to as microbial fossilization, is critical in long-term suppression of residual pathogens. Finally, also MTA chemically bond with dentin through a reaction involving calcium silicon and phosphate ions, forming stable interfacial layer. This results in the creation of a monoblock structure, eliminating interfacial gaps and improving the sealing ability of the mineral. This chemical integration with dentin significantly reduces the risk of reinfection over time. Let's now examine the interfacial layer under a scanning electron microscope. This cell is obtained from a tooth extracted 7 years after biofilling due to advanced periodontal disease. The dentin on the left and also MTA on the right are seamlessly integrated into a single mass. This configuration represents a monoblock biofusion. The dentin layer on the left and the also layer on the right show monoblock biofusion. The third effect is bioactivity. Due to its bioactive nature, also MTA facilitates the formation of difficult region followed root canal obturation. This phenomenon is referred to as biological sealing. Likewise, RetroMTA stimulate the regeneration of new dentin subsequent to vital pulpotomy procedures. Let's see the apical foramen after biofilling. Calcium-deficient hydroxyapatite has formed at the apical foramen as a result of bioactive mineralization. This is the 2000 magnified SEM image. It is a remarkable well-formed crystalline structure. This structure is referred to as a calcium-deficient hydroxyapatite rose, formed after the biofilling procedure. These calcium-deficient hydroxyapatite crystals will eventually transform into newly formed cementum. The 3000 magnified SEM image of the newly formed cementum after biofilling. This slide of another researcher demonstrates the regeneration of cementum following biofilling treatment. What about dentin regeneration? Let's move on to a human study, specifically a clinical case of vital pulpotomy on a third molar. This is a scanning electron microscope image of a longitudinal section of a wisdom tooth that underwent vital pulpotomy. The area marked in yellow indicates the newly formed dentin layer. This is the newly formed. Let's see the interfacial surface of the new dentin and the original dentin. Tertiary dentin is well attached to the underlying dentin. It appears as a continuously integrated structure as shown in this image. Let's move slightly downward to observe a lower part of the same sample. The newly formed tertiary dentin and the original dentin appear slightly separated. In scanning electron microscope preparation. Let's look at the separated spaces. It is odontoblast process. The white overmarked area show the process of odontoblast responsible for forming the newly deposited dentin, extending into the dental tuber of the original dentin. In vital pulpotomy procedures, RetroMTA is the material of choice. RetroMTA can be used in cases of mechanically exposed pulp. When the pulp is exposed during the removal of deep caries, RetroMTA can be used for a partial pulpotomy procedures. In cases where multiple healthy teeth without bacterial infection have undergone elongation, RetroMTA enable efficient and convenient vital pulpotomy procedures to be performed. Clinical clue suggesting that the pulp is healthy and free from inflammation or bacterial infection. Application of RetroMTA. The thickness should be 3 mm above for the perfect sealing effect. Glass ionomer core, bonding agent coating, and light curing along the margins. Another case. The opposing tooth of the implant has a spur erected below the occlusal plane. Perform vital pulpotomy. After approximately 3 minutes of compression hemostasis, the site is gently irrigated with the chlorhexidine solution diluted in normal saline. The observation of clear serous exudate oozing from the emptied pulp surface suggests that the pulp is healthy and free from infection. When using the capsule type Erythro MTA, the material can be directly delivered into the pulp chamber. For vital pulpotomy, you may choose cap form Erythro MTA or capsule form. After building the core with glass ionomer, be sure to coat the margin with a light cured bonding agent and cure it. This additional step enhances the integrity of the interfacial seal. The opposing tooth to the implant has undergone significant elongation due to the absence of occlusal contact. Vital pulpotomy enables the molar to be aligned to the occlusal plane. First visit, caries removal, and apply the Erythro MTA with the Ortho MTA carrier. Slight amount on the affected dentin. Erythro MTA. The thickness should be 1.5 millimeter, 2 millimeter at least. Condensed MTA using a compactor or plugger. Just gently compaction, gentle compaction. Gently. Gentle compaction and wet cotton compaction is critical method. And applied temporary stop material. Second visit, the Erythro MTA will set completely. These slides show Erythro MTA indirect tapping procedure. Perforation may also occur during the removal of gutta persian sealer. Overfilling of the conventional sealer with the perforated site will cause severe pain and inflammation. However, also empty overfilling rather relieve pain and inflammation. After 1 year of biofilling, lamina dura was regenerated. Biofilling is performed in the entire root canal space, including the perforation site.
The apical one-third is calcified, and then perforation occurred.
Four years later, the overfilling portion was observed, and regeneration of lamina dura was confirmed. Six years later, the function of the tooth was still well maintained.
This case is a strip perforation. Strip perforation.
Garaperture and sealer treatment will cause the acute pain and failure in the stripping perforation case. Biofilling is the answer. Pain control, bony healing, lamina dura, regeneration. This is 5 months follow-up case. A substantial amount of erythroid MTA was extruded through the perforation site. No postoperative pain was reported. At the 6 months follow-up, radiograph examination revealed active bone regeneration and resorption of the extruded material.
Sejumlah besar
This is 4 years follow-up case. A relatively large periapical granuloma was present at the initial examination. Minor overfield of erythroid MTA was observed. At the 4 years follow-up, complete bone regeneration was evident, along with the restoration of the lamina dura.
Overfilling is no problem in also MTA canal obturation.
Eight years follow-up case. This periapical lesion developed during orthodontic treatment. After performing biofilling using erythroid MTA, the patient was followed up for 8 years. Successful bone regeneration and re-establishment of the lamina dura were confirmed. "11 years follow-up case. 11 years after erythroid MTA biofilling, radiographic follow-up confirmed complete bone regeneration and re-establishment of the lamina dura. Postoperative swelling may occasionally occur following overfilling. In most cases, it subsides spontaneously. The swelling is primarily caused by contaminated dentin debris that has extruded beyond the apex. When necessary, appropriate intervention such as systemic antibiotic therapy, incision and drainage, or apical curettage can be performed. Long-term follow-up case of open apex. Apical destruction caused by a periapical lesion results in an open apex. Despite minor extrusion of retro-MTA beyond apical foramen, the patient remains asymptomatic and favorable bone regeneration. Gutta-percha sealers are known to have limited sealing ability, predisposing the tooth to apical lesion formation. After removal of the contaminated filling material, biofilling with ortho-MTA was carried out. Although a considerable amount of ortho-MTA was extruded beyond the apical foramen, no postoperative pain or inflammation response was observed. On the contrary, patient symptoms resolved following the treatment. At 9 months follow-up, radiographic evidence confirmed regeneration of the cortical bone. An acute apical abscess developed in tooth number 11, an immature permanent tooth. The infection led to further destruction of the periapical tissues, resulting in significant widening of the open apex. Biofilling was performed using ortho-MTA. This material was selected for its excellent sealing ability, antibacterial properties, and potential to promote periodontal tissue regeneration. Also, a substantial amount of ortho-MTA was extruded beyond the apical foramen. The clinical outcome remained favorable. In anterior teeth, retro-MTA is generally recommended over ortho-MTA to minimize the risk of tooth discoloration. A follow-up radiograph taken 2 years after the initial treatment revealed that a substantial portion of extruded ortho-MTA had been resolved. Despite the initial overfilling, no adverse effect such as pain or inflammation were observed throughout the follow-up period. Five years follow-up demonstrate complete healing of the region with the bone regeneration. Lamina dura and trabecular bone pattern were restored, and no clinical symptoms were observed. After 7 years follow-up, no clinical symptom, no radiographic sign of relapse. The fate of overfilled mineral trioxide aggregate in periapical tissue appeared to be influenced by local pH and the biochemical characteristics of the surrounding lesion. In case where the apical lesion is acidic, overextended MTA is gradually resolved due to increased solubility in acidic environment and infiltration of acidic exudate. Conversely, in conditions where the peripheral tissue exhibit near neutral or non-inflammatory pair, the extruded MTA remains stable over time without undergoing significant degradation or resorption. Long-term clinical follow-up of ulcerated cases up to 11 years.
Connected to the focalization area.
1 year's follow-up case. Overextended also MTA reveal a communication tract from the apical granuloma to the focalization area. 1 year follow-up radiograph demonstrate complete bone regeneration and closure of the pathway. This case illustrates the excellent biocompatibility and also inductive potential of also MTA. In cases of Y-shaped or delta canal system, conventional gutta-percha sealer failed to achieve three-dimensional sealing. Also MTA biofilling allows complete obturation of the complex apical morphology due to its sealing ability and bioactivity. This is 3 years follow-up case. An apical granuloma was observed on both the mandibular left lateral incisor and canine. The canine was identified as the primary origin of infection and was treated with retro-MTA biofilling. After 3 months, the lesion around the lateral incisors resolved spontaneously, suggesting that the infection was secondary and healed without direct intervention. This is a 14-year follow-up case. The region is expanding and displacing the mandibular canal. This is a CBCT image. Due to the pressure from the pseudocyst, even the cortical bone is being displaced outward. The lesion has become connected to the inferior alveolar nerve canal. Therefore, this is a critical case where overfilling may cause numbness. In initial X-ray, the canal appears well sealed with the gutta-percha and sealer, and the post is placed to an appropriate length. However, a radiographic image does not necessarily indicate perfect sealing. In fact, radiographic appearance has no direct correlation with the actual sealability. When removing gutta-percha and sealer, complete removal is essential to improve the success rate of treatment. The apical lesion caused resorption and destruction of the root apex, resulting in an open apex. A portion of also MTA was overfilled.
Four years follow-up.
14-year follow-up. The region has healed and been regenerated with bone. This is the initial CBCT image. This is the follow-up status 4 years after biofilling. After 14 years, the lesion has healed with bone regeneration. This is the case with the lesion size 5 centimeter diameter.
Large size.
The mandibular canal has been displaced due to the pressure from the lesion. After marsupialization, the region was reduced to 1.5 centimeter in size. Follow-up result at 18 months after biofilling treatment in a case of a large cyst. The pulp of the immature permanent incisor become necrotic pulp due to physical trauma. After 1 year, apex genesis of the tooth number 12 and effixication of the tooth number 11 were observed. After 6 years, more complete apex genesis and effixication were achieved. At a 13-year follow-up, an apical lesion was observed on tooth number 12. Although apex genesis had been almost perfectly achieved, the lesion still developed. What could be the underlying cause? The patient, who did not present for follow-up in several years, returned after 17 years with chief complaint of pain. Let's now investigate the underlying cause of the lesion step by step. Discoloration is observed beneath the lesion restoration on the palatal side of tooth number 12. The discoloration beneath the lesion indicates a possible microleakage route, implying that bacteria may have penetrated through the restoration. Number 15H file entered with minimal resistance. It did not reach the anatomical apex. Radiograph and tactile findings suggest it had deviated through a purporate or reserved area near the root tip. The unset MTA was removed and biofilling was reattempted, but the canal space in the apex genesis could not be properly sealed. Thus, the defect does not appear to be iatrogenic in origin, but likely result from morphological changes associated with the apex genesis process. In light of these findings, an apicoectomy was planned as the treatment of choice. Open the site. Removal of the pseudocyst. This removed tissue was an infected lesion caused by bacterial contamination in the canal. A simplified apicoectomy was performed, followed by bone grafting. This simplified apicoectomy is a surgical procedure in which only the apical portion of the root is resected without retrofilling. As the canal was completely sealed with MTA, retrocavity preparation was not required. Surgery completed uneventfully. Why did not the MTA set properly? Or was it initially well set but gradually dissolved over the course of 17 years due to certain conditions in oral environment? From the radiograph taken at the 6-year follow-up, we can identify an important clue. Just as oral bacteria produce acidic metabolite that initiate carious lesion by demineralizing hard tissue surface of the teeth and gradually invade deeper into the dentin and eventually the periapical bone tissue to induce apical periodontitis. In this case, bacterial proliferation within the region defect appear to have dissolved the MTA using their acidic byproduct. This allowed bacteria to progressively migrate through the MTA and ultimately reach the defect hole left from the previous apex genesis procedure on tooth number 12, resulting in the formation of a large periapical lesion. Here, I'd like to share a case of apex genesis within an 11-year follow-up. Before that, I will first present an apexification case. The tooth exhibits an incompletely developed root with an open apex. The thickness of the root canal wall is sufficient. This serves as a rationale for selecting apexification as a treatment option rather than revascularized endodontic procedures. A successful apical barrier was formed. Next, I will present an apex genesis case with an 11-year follow-up. Apex genesis was nearly completed within just 3 months. At the 7 and 11-year follow-ups, a fully matured root apex was observed. Horizontally fractured anterior teeth cannot be treated successfully with gutta percha and sealer alone. In fact, their use may significantly compromise the prognosis. This
Horizontal
is
root
the case
fracture
of a horizontal root
in
fracture
anterior
follow-up
tooth
by
number
1
11.
year.
Follow-up for 1 year. In this case, the apical 1/3 fractured fragment was left in place, and the coronal canal segment above the fracture line was sealed with MTA. The tooth was followed up to 8 years and remained fully functional without any complications. Biofilling is the first treatment of choice for retreatment cases. This is a case of endodontic retreatment. After 2 previous retreatment attempts using gutta-percha and sealer, the tooth exhibits worsening symptoms indicating severe mobility and an enlarging periapical lesion. The existing gutta-percha and sealer were completely removed, and biofilling was performed using also MTA. At the 4-year follow-up, radiographic examination revealed significant periapical healing with the new bone formation and the regeneration of lamina dura, and the tooth remained functionally stable. Residual gutta-percha sealer adhering to critical areas that should have been cleaned is a major cause of failure in endodontic retreatment. Do not leave residual gutta-percha sealer in the apical third. Clean it completely to prevent retreatment failure. There are 3 possible scenarios when a file fractures during endodontic treatment. A broken file located within the canal. In this case, prognosis is generally favorable if the canal coronal to the broken file can be properly cleaned and sealed. An overextended broken file protruding beyond the apex. This situation carries a risk of periapical inflammation, foreign body reaction, and delayed healing. Retrieval may be difficult, and the prognosis depends on the material, size, and host response. A broken file associated with periapical lesion and possible extraradicular infection. This is a more complicated situation. Surgical intervention may be required. The pitch space, the gap between the separated file and the canal wall, can be effectively sealed using also MTA, as demonstrated in this video. File separation can occur despite meticulous technique and careful handling. Prevention is important, but not the fundamentally solution, as complete avoidance is realistically impossible. Likewise, attempting to retrieve the separated instrument is not always the best approach. Instrument retrieval can lead to further complications such as perforation, root fracture, or even breakage of a second instrument. Therefore, a more biologically sound and predictable strategy is to seal the space with a biocompatible material like also MTA, achieving a tight seal that promotes periapical healing. In the scanning electron microscope image, the space between the separated file and the canal wall was found to be completely sealed with also MTA. In cases of file separation in the root canal, the following protocol is recommended. Disinfect the root canal completely with sodium hypochlorite, ensuring sufficient contact time to eliminate intracanal microorganisms. Suction the canal using number 21 gauge needle to remove residual irrigant and debris. Perform biofilling using a biocompatible material such as also MTA. A fractured instrument remained within the root canal. At the 9 months follow-up, the tooth show favorable healing with resolution of the periapical lesion. The overextended file continued to irritate the periodontal ligament, potentially compromising healing. This slide shows a broken file that has been extruded beyond the apical foramen, directly irritating the periodontal ligament. If the symptoms persist for more than 4 weeks, the source of the problem is likely located outside the root canal system, and epicoectomy should be considered. In such cases, retrofilling is not required, since the canal is already well sealed coronally with also MTA. Therefore, surgical procedures become much simpler and less invasive. In contrast, when using gutta-persian sealer, retrograde cavity preparation and retrofilling are required during epicoectomy, which is more complex and less reliable in preventing coronal leakage. Moreover, gutta-percha using during conventional surgery cannot block coronal leakage effectively. This slide demonstrates an extraradicular infection, indicating the presence of pathology beyond the confines of the root canal system. This slide presents a simplified epicoectomy made possible by the use of biofilling, which ensure complete coronal apical sealing of the root canal.
Also MTA can be intruded into the space between fracture file and the dentin wall. 이렇게 있죠? The canine filled with the MTA already. This video shows simplified epicoectomy procedure. Set completely of retro MTA or also MTA. suture. That's all.
With proper technique and biofilling, even the partal lip of the tooth number 26 can be assessed and inspected easily by the general dentist without requiring referral to a specialist.
Upper parietal root resection, parietal epicoectomy. Very simplified epicoectomy procedure.
The dentin thickness of molars in Asian population is generally thinner compared to that of Western populations. Additionally, the cultural preference for foam or chewy food among Asians increase occlusal stress. As a result, cracks in posterior teeth are observed more frequently in these populations. At 26 months, radiograph evidence showed clear bone regeneration, and the tooth had regained full function. Calcium silicate hydrate sealing is formed within the crack space on the root canal side. Subsequently, calcium deficient hydroxyapatite crystal continued to propagate and fill the crack. This biological active sealing process promotes bone healing around cementum and periapical area. Next, I will present cases of odontogenic maxillary sinusitis that have successfully healed. This is a 6-month follow-up case. The Schneiderian membrane thickening completely resolved following biofilling. This is a frontal view of the maxillary sinus. Next is a case with a 2-year follow-up. Complete healing of the maxillary sinus was confirmed with evident bone regeneration in the area previously affected by the lesion. The radiolucent area seen on the image is not the result of epicoectomy, but rather due to the projection angle of the radiograph. This is 4 years follow-up case. The previous gutta-persian sealer treatment did not provide an adequate bacterial sealing. The contaminated gutta-persian sealer were completely removed as much as possible, and biofilling was performed using also MTA. Also, overfilling occurred. No adverse effects were observed, likely due to the biocompatibility of also MTA. At the 4 years follow-up, the maxillary sinus had completely healed, and the periapical bone had regenerated. As we heal our patient's teeth, we also heal ourselves.
Thank you very
Thank
much
you very
for
much
your
for
attention.
your attention.